Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point, will the Supreme Court's order on NEET finally ensure some transparency? Was the paper leak localized, as the government is suggesting, or far more widespread? And is a NEET retest now out of the question? All the big questions that affect lakhs of students in this country and go right at the heart of the way examinations are conducted in India at the moment. We'll raise those big questions, but first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Big NEET order by the Supreme Court. The National Testing Agency directed by the Apex Court to publish all NEET candidate results online by Saturday 12 noon. Student identities to be masked, but exam centers will now be revealed. Another day, another train tragedy. 2 dead in Uttar Pradesh as 6 coaches of the Dibrugarh Express derail in Gonda. Rescue operations underway. Loco pilot says he heard a loud explosion before the accident. Kanwar yatra showdown in Uttar Pradesh. Muzaffarnagar eateries asked to display names of owners. Opposition calls it state-sponsored bigotry. BJP backs the move. Valmiki scam heat mounts on the Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka. ED claims 90 crore SC/ST funds used to fund the Congress campaign, a liquor and purchase a Lamborghini. BJP protests, Congress cries vendetta. Tainted IAS probationer Pooja Khedkar's mother is finally nabbed. Manorama Khedkar arrested from Pune over a gun-toting video, sent to 2 days police custody. Promotion on the cards likely for Stalin Jr. Sources say talks are on to elevate Udaynidhi Stalin to Tamil Nadu's Deputy Chief Minister's post. Stock markets continue their record-smashing course. Sensex breaches 81,000 mark for the first time. Nifty scales record 24,800 level. Surya Kumar Yadav to lead the men in blue as the T20 international captain. Shubman Gill to serve as vice-captain ahead of the 3-match series in Sri Lanka. And Bangladesh is on the boil. Students and police face off over government quota for job distribution. Hasina government says ready to hold talks. Army deployed nationwide. But our top story tonight. The Supreme Court's hearing on the contentious NEET medical exam issue resumed today. And the National Test Agency is now in the dock. The NTA has been ordered to publish in the next 48 hours the results of all the NEET candidates by Saturday noon, complete with details of examination centers. The Chief Justice of India-led bench reiterated how the sanctity of the NEET-UG exam has been breached, but indicated that they were not in favor of a retest. The lives of lakhs of students continue to hang in the balance as they wait for the top court's final order. Today, we'll once again examine just how our examination system in this country is now facing several searching questions. But first, take a look at what happened in the court.
The Supreme Court on Thursday directed the National Testing Agency to publish marks of all students who took NEET undergraduate exams to ensure transparency. The 3-judge bench, led by CJ Chandrachud, ruled that the marks should be published city-wise as well as centre-wise. These details should be uploaded by Saturday noon. The identity of students should be masked. The centre-wise data will allow petitioners to find if there was any widespread leak.
सुनवाई के बाद कोर्ट ने नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी को एक डायरेक्शन दी है कि वो सारा का सारा रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर करे सिटी वाइज और सेंटर वाइज, ताकि पिटिशनर्स उस डाटा को भी एनालाइज कर सके, ये दिखाने के लिए कि इस एग्जामिनेशन में पेपर लीक हुआ है.
The Supreme Court also observed that the sanctity of NEET-UG 2024 was breached. It added that the leaked question paper was destroyed before the exam. The paper was leaked for money and not to bring disrepute, the court added. The Supreme Court also observed that it seems far-fetched that the breach took place on the exam day. The apex court said that they cannot order re-examination unless the entire exam is affected. The NTA maintained that paper leak incidents were just isolated cases and opposed any cancellation of exam. Over 23 lakh students had appeared for NEET-UG.
इसमें अगर कुछ और बढ़ोतरी होती है वो और भी मैटर्स इसको सुनेंगे मंडे को, तो हम होप कर रहे हैं कि सीजीआई सर हमारे फेवर में डिसीजन ले।
सॉलिसिटर जनरल साहब ने खुद ही एडमिट किया है कि उनका ऐसा मानना है कि शायद 150 बच्चे ही इसके बेनिफिशियरी रहे होंगे, उतने अपनी स्टेटमेंट में खुद कहा। तो क्या 150 एक छोटा नंबर है? ये अपने आप में एक प्रश्न चिन्ह जो है सामने रखने वाली बात है।
Meanwhile, in Bihar, the CBI has busted a solver gang. 4 doctors from Patna AIIMS have been arrested and 4 students detained for questioning.
3 स्टूडेंट का नाम और उनका फोटो भी हमारे व्हाट्सएप में भेजे और इन्होंने बोला कि आप कोशिश कीजिए जैसे कि स्टूडेंट को आप हैंडओवर जल्दी आसानी से कर दीजिए। और 2 स्टूडेंट को वो आइडेंटिफाई किए और वो लेके गए। उसके बाद और एक स्टूडेंट उसी समय कमरे में नहीं थे, उसके बाद स्टूडेंट जाके इनको खुद रिपोर्ट किया।
The NEET-UG irregularities had rocked the medical community and raised serious questions about the integrity of the examination process. The Supreme Court's order to release complete results should help to clear doubts soon. With Nalini Sharma, Kanu Sharda in Delhi and Shashi Bhushan in Patna, Bureau Report, India Today.
The big questions tonight. Will the Supreme Court order ensure transparency in the NEET results now? Is a NEET retest out of the question? Was the paper leak localized or widespread? Who is going to be held accountable? And how does one avoid a repeat of the NEET mess this year? I'm joined once again by Maheshwar Perry, founder, chairman, Careers 360. He's been with us tracking this NEET issue very closely. Dr. Subramaniam Swaminathan is one of the country's leading doctors, director of infectious diseases at Gleneagles Global City in Chennai. Dr. Rahul Chawla is neurologist, writer and a NEET mentor. Keshav Karunakar is a parent of a NEET aspirant. Vivek Priyadarshi is a NEET aspirant, wants the retest. Molly Agarwal is a NEET aspirant who doesn't want the retest. I'm going to first come to those who have a direct interest in the NEET exam because they're either appearing for the exam or the parents of NEET aspirants. Let me start with you, Keshav Karunakar, because you're a parent of a NEET aspirant. Are you today, when the Supreme Court indicates no need for a retest, the government says this is very localized, only 150 students may have benefited from the NEET paper leaks, does that give you a sense of satisfaction that the examination isn't really, the so-called paper leak isn't widespread, or do you believe the government is hiding something as a parent?
Yeah, Rajdeep, good evening. Thanks for having me. I am against re-NEET. My ward has scored 695, and from day one, on the media channels, I'm telling that this paper leak is not widespread. Today, almost Mr. Huda proved that 3rd May the paper was leaked, but Mr. Tushar Mehta brought the facts from the CBI inquiry, and it was established that 5th it was leaked from the Hazaribagh, it went to Patna, Solberg and solved, and other things happened. On the today, I'm very happy with CGI, to be very frank. 4 hours hearing, I noted down every word. Few things that is important here is, one is that on the Godhra incident, CGI should have asked that how did they get the center allocated. He was coming to the point, but NTA was not answering this. The point is that people don't get selected is not the answer, but on what basis they could manage to get the center, this is a subject of investigation. My litigation, I have litigated NTA in the Supreme Court. My case number was 21, which was not taken. I have been telling from day one that what is the factor of rank inflation, and that is what is most important thing to be done. I did the data analysis, and I presented one paper also that how the rank inflation has happened because of the physics atom question, and that is what I have filed in this one. Today CGI has noticed that 17 students have scored 720 out of 720, and 44 has come into rank 1 because of 2 options answers. Now we have given a proof how NTA is wrong in doing that by establishing that we are using a book published before 2020, which NCERT director has told that no, you can't use it. book has been redone in 2020. We are doing 2024 exam, but NTA wants to go back and take a position that 2018 book or 19 book I want to use in 2024. If this is taken care, I'm just telling you, if CGI does it, at least at the top till 695, there'll be rank deflation up to 100%. I'm telling you.
Okay, so you're still...
But at every number, it will be 3x to 4x.
Right.
That is fact.
Okay.
At 695, 600, it will go to 1800. That's what my understanding is. But I don't think it is going to make much change. Okay. And again, just one point, Rajdeep. The Supreme Court has told to give result of 24 lakhs. This will give an data analysis that to happen. I request one thing to coaching institutes who have been shouting from the roof. They should publish their own result of 50,000 students, because everybody goes to some coaching institute saying that how many of them they doubt at least that these guys have got through the math practice, be it center fixing, grace marks, bonus marks, whatever it is there. At least 50,000 students. This is what my demand is. Otherwise, I'm very happy with CGI. He has been really well informed, asking right question, and he was bringing all the points to the thing. And
I'm just
really
going to stop you, Keshav. I've allowed you to get, because you are an affected party, therefore, and you've been involved in this case. You're saying at least the Supreme Court has raised valid questions today, but you still have concerns, particularly of the number of students who max that paper at 720, and you would like that issue to be re-examined. Vivek Priyadarshi, you're a NEET aspirant who wants a retest at the moment. Why do you want a retest, given the fact that the government is claiming, and the Supreme Court seems to be more or less accepting it, that this was localized to particular areas in Hazaribagh, in Patna? It was not as if the paper was leaked across India.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I am Vivek Priyadarshi and I got 622 marks. Sir, मेरे मार्क्स ज़्यादा अच्छे तो नहीं थे, बट इतने थे कि लास्ट ईयर के अकॉर्डिंग मुझे कॉलेज मिल जाता जी। सर, मेरे मम्मी पापा ने बड़ी मुश्किल से जमीन पे कर्जा लिया था, उसके बाद मुझे कोटा भेजा पढ़ने के लिए, फिर मैं सर 622 मार्क्स लाया। अगर सर मेरे को कॉलेज नहीं, और सर इस बार के एग्जाम की वजह से मेरे को रैंक बहुत बुरा मिला है। आई गॉट 55,000 रैंक समथिंग सर, जिसकी वजह से मुझे कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा और बहुत बुरा रहेगा हमारी फैमिली।
नहीं, पर आप कह रहे हैं कि आपका रैंक कम हुआ है इस बार, लेकिन आपके ऊपर के जो लोग हैं, क्या आपको लगता है वो सब ने चीटिंग से वो मार्क लिए हैं? यू कैन नॉट से दैट। जिनको 720, 716 मिले हैं, उनके मार्क अच्छे मिले, तो क्या हम तो सरकार क्या कर सकती है?
सर, बहुत सारे बच्चों ने, ऐसा हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे बच्चों ने मेहनत करी है। सर, हमारी क्लास में, हमारे बैच में सर बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे थे जो 700 तक मार्क्स लाए हैं नीट में, लेकिन सर इतना ज्यादा जो मार्क्स में 720 मार्क्स लाए हैं सर, 60 to 70 बच्चे हैं उनमें, और सर इतना ज्यादा रैंक जो हुआ है सर, ये नामुमकिन है सर। 3 गुना 4 गुना रैंक बढ़ गया है।
तो आपको लगता है ये जो 720 जिनको मिला है, आप कन्विंस नहीं है कि उनको वाकई उतना मिलना चाहिए था? सही?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are worried about the marks inflation. I am also with Molly Agarwal. Molly, you're a NEET aspirant who doesn't want the retest. Now you heard Vivek saying that he's not confident that those who have got 720 or 700 plus, most of them, according to him, may have benefited. How do you respond?
Sir, even I am very sad about the rank inflation issue, and I'm very concerned about it because I'm not happy with my rank as well. But for a few students who have scored, I don't know how many, but for few students who have scored really good marks with cheating or either any bad means, we cannot say every student's hard work was not not honest, or it should be neglected.
So you think that it would be unfair to cancel the entire exam? Am I correct?
Yes, sir. It would be very difficult for each and every student, whether me, whether anyone else, to once again learn all the chapters again and give the examination.
Okay. I've heard these three voices just to give our viewers a sense that this is still a contentious issue. The court is hearing the matter. The National Testing Agency's lawyer, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, insisting that this is localized, that the entire exam has not been compromised. But even if 150 students have benefited, many will say that's 150 too many, Dr. Subramaniam Swaminathan. The fact that the country's premier exam, 2 months later, the exam held in the first week of May, we are now in the third week of July, And there are these clouds of uncertainty still over it being battled out in the court. What does that say? If 150 students benefited in some way or the other that they had the exam papers, whether 45 minutes earlier or 3 days earlier, there is something seriously wrong.
See, I see two major issues here. The first one is there are patterns which are not being addressed. Everybody is focusing on what happened in Bihar, but there were a group of people who got a perfect score in certain centers outside of Bihar, which statistically sounds most unlikely. The numbers just don't add up. So that is another issue. If I were the NEET guys, I would get an expert committee talking to everybody who scored above 700 to try and find out which of them cheated. Because
how would you know that?
Over a score of 700.
No, but how would you find out that someone who scored over 700 cheated?
Absolutely good question. So let me tell you, when I talk to some of the students who come through, please understand the blaseness in the cheating is so bad that their basic knowledge is pathetic. And therefore, they will be very quickly caught out when you start asking them simple questions and they realize that they have only the ability to memorize the answers to the questions. They don't know what the questions are. Please keep that in mind. The second issue is, this is a bigger problem which I don't think people are addressing. You are training people to become doctors and take care of patients. In which world is it acceptable to even let one person who is incompetent and does not have a moral compass to take care of human lives? I am sorry, even one person should not be allowed. Accepting, even saying like, okay, maybe only 10 people will escape. Would you want one of those 10 handling your family's family members' care?
Are you saying that even if there are 150 and this was localized, the leak, that's not good enough? You are calling for a retest? Or are you saying that at least test out all those who got a certain rank or certain marks to find out whether they actually match a 720 score?
See, I would definitely at least look at those who got 700 and above to see how many of them were real. The point is that, see, you are
but that's very difficult to test. Isn't that very difficult?
You may say so. No. You look at the downside of it. These are people who will be handling your life and my life in their hands. You think that is easy? That is cheap? No. If you thought this was bad, putting people's lives in their hands is even more dangerous. I would not want them handling patients' lives.
But how will you have an objective, doctor? How will you have an objective criteria to find out that what is that objective criteria?
So this is not without precedent. Please understand, we have never done this as part of NEET. Many years ago, when I was a school student, they used to have all these search examinations like NTSC and all that stuff. They used to have really smart people. Even today, it happens for IAS selection, all that, where they have smart people sitting on the panel, where they can weed out the wheat from the chaff. They know who is lying and who is not. All you need is smart people sitting together and looking at every candidate, talking to them. It will come out very quickly. I'm not saying it's 100% perfect, but a good student who knows his subject will be able to hold up against a good interview process.
Okay.
And a student who has only cheated and come through will get found out.
Okay.
Don't have any
you're at least giving us something which you believe is a disruptive, some would say, solution, suggesting those who got 700 marks and above, that 720 is max. You need to relook at some of their papers or at least put them through some kind of an objective test system. Controversial, but at least it's a point out there. Dr. Rahul Chawla, do you agree with that? Do you believe, as Dr. Subramanian is suggesting, that there will need... Dr. Swaminathan suggesting there will need to be some system by which at least those who seem to have got inflated marks, according to some, are tested in some independent way?
Rajdeep sir, theoretically it seems to be a very valid point, but pragmatically it is not possible. We're already seeing that, so many students have given exam, 23 lakh students. The matter is in court. CBI is conducting inquiry. So I think Supreme Court is the best person, best authority to decide the future of the students. But whole objectivity should be followed while deciding the course for what happens to the future of those students. Now, the thing is that around, they have said that the beneficiary, only 150 students are the beneficiary. So I don't know how they have reached to that number and how we can decide that only 150 students have benefited. It is true that the paper leak must have happened in, few spots here and there. But in this time, in the social media generation, how is it not possible that paper could have reached to any far-fetched place? How are we going to evaluate that?
So you're saying that when in the court today, the National Test Agency's council said it's only 150 students.
Yes.
They seem to be backing what IIT Madras also has said. You're saying there is no way anyone can prove that it's only 150 students. It could be more.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
You're saying more than 150 students could benefit through social media. You want to explain how through social media? Are you saying that they could have got the paper on Telegram? They could have got it on some specific app?
Exactly. We can't really say for sure if the person who is involved in paper leak, he has not passed that paper to somebody else. If suppose the paper leak happened in Gujarat or Patna, how do we know that the same person did not send that paper to somebody sitting in Kerala or Delhi or Haryana? And now we have, cases like in Haryana, wherein a single center produced 8 toppers, 8 students getting, more than 710 ranks, which is really not possible.
Right. So you're saying this could well be more widespread. The CBI is already investigating across 6 states. Maheshwar Perry, do you think, as we asked you this question a couple of weeks ago, that the government is not coming clean yet? The government has failed to come clean on where they stand really on the NEET exam in terms of just how widespread it is, the paper leak.
Yeah, I think completely, Rajdeep. Last time also we spoke about this, where we talked of how if the data of center-wise is to be disclosed, there might be something that people will be able to analyze, right? The most important
That's
thing
what they're doing on Saturday. That's what they're doing on Saturday, Mahesh.
We need.
That's what the government says, the court says they'll do.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I understand that. I understand that. Exactly, right. It's very important for us to restore the credibility of an examination. At this point in time, this examination is in question, suspicious, and every student suspects it, right? This data disclosure would ensure that at least the students will not have any more questions if the data is clean.
Right.
And NTA in this entire saga has been behaving like State Bank of India in electoral bond scam. What is the purpose of saying that we don't want to disclose data? Let me tell you, Rajdeep, at state counseling, each of this data is disclosed by each state counseling department. This NTA data, whatever you're talking of NEET, at a state counseling, every state discloses that with the name and phone, roll number and marks and everything, because that's how the counseling is going to happen at the state level. NTA holds the all India examination, but the same data goes to each state for inter-se merit. And there all data is disclosed. So there is no reason why the NTA should be protesting or saying that they don't want to divulge data, because this data is disclosed at a state level. You go to any like NEET PG, for example, all data is disclosed by the same NTA, right? So NTA has been found miserly in terms of its, to disclose data at every single point till it has been demanded by Supreme Court, and that for me is extremely, I don't find myself comfortable. So hopefully with this data coming out, and if nothing is found, good luck to them. But if something is found, then there is a possibility.
No, so what is
the other part of it?
So what would trouble you? Just a minute, Mike. Just to get for our audiences, at 12 noon, Saturday 12 noon, the NTA will have to give the list of the students, their results, without disclosing the identity of the students, but clearly indicating examination centers. What, according to you, would confirm that this is more widespread than the government is claiming merely from those examination centers? What is it that you're going to be looking out for?
So, for example, there are about 4,500 plus centers, Rajdeep. If 50 of these centers were to have people, about more than 10-15% students who are getting more than less than 50,000 rank, it's a red flag for me. Because, like, they talked of Jaipur, where there are, they talk of a complete city and say in Jaipur you have 9 toppers, right? I'm not looking at 9 toppers from Jaipur. I'm looking at whether that 9 toppers possibly come from 1 or 2 centers. And assuming that happens, you know that there is something that is creating a problem, because statistically certain things are not possible. Like, for example, of the 4,500 centers, let's assume that 25-30 centers have, of the top 30,000 rankers, about 1,000 rankers come from these top 30 centers. It will be a red flag for me, because it should be evenly spread if that is what the IIT Madras report says, and that's what the government has been claiming in the court today.
Okay, so
right? For sure, like for example, what happened in Jajjar, where because they disclosed the top 100, you actually found 8 students coming from one single center. If a similar thing comes in 4-5 other cases, Rajdeep, you actually have a problem in your hand.
So you're telling me, let's get this very clear. If on Saturday, many of the toppers, you have more judges out there where 7 or 8 toppers are from a particular examination center in another part of the country, you believe that's a red flag. Am I correct?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if you take the top 30,000 rank, right, 30,000 rank, because ultimately up to 30,000, 40,000 rank, you get a seat of a public institution right?
Right.
If for a few centers, you actually have a concentration of such people who are getting this less than 40,000 rank, which is, as compared to previous years, is not the case, right? You will, I think there will be a red flag out there.
Okay. Keshav Karunakar?
Because Rajdeep, one of the things that was said, Rajdeep,
go ahead.
Rajdeep, one of the things, in the Supreme Court that is not, that was disclosed but not completely true, is that the council was saying that, the counseling goes on to a point where up to 2.5 lakh rank students get into the college. No, it's not 2.5 lakh. Even a 10 lakh ranker in this country gets a college in a private college. And that's the reason why you actually make it 164 out of 720, which is 21% mark, 23% marks, because you want to expand the pool of students which are available for this counseling, because many of these private colleges, because of the high fee, cannot fill in their seats, right? So it's not a 2.5 lakh game or whatever. It is a 10 lakh, 11 lakh. Every student who qualifies, actually, if they want to pay, if they can pay for it, normally gets into a college. That's a fact.
Okay.
The only simple thing for me is that if another 10 judges come out now where the rank is less than 3,000 also, not the topper by the way, less than 3,000 also, it will still be a red flag for me, because they're taking away a good aim seat from someone else.
Okay. I've got your point. Keshav Karunakar, you want to respond as a parent of a NEET aspirant. You're hearing voices from respected doctors as well as those who track the education sector saying, look, the government is not being entirely honest with the students or with the country when they say this is highly localized. All of them are raising different red flags. You, on the other hand, told me at the outset you have no problem. You believe that the Supreme Court and the NTA are proceeding in the right direction.
Yeah. So, Rajdeep, I have problem with NTA. I'm not saying that I don't have problem with NTA. NTA, what Maheshwari has told, that is not transparent, not showing the data, has been lying to the truth, like it is fact, right? If they would have, this is the mess created by NTA only. So I'm not defending NTA, to be very frank. I just want to add one thing. Dr. Swaminathan has got very good point. Rajdeep, if you want to find out 2,000 people who have got 700 marks plus, if you want to find out who is good or who is bad, it takes only half an hour. Dial all the coaching institutes, give them the number. They will give you the consistency performance of these guys.
But you see the worry. But you see, once you either you then scrap the exam and do a retest. You can't then do a test only for the 2,000 students.
No.
That will be. You think that if I have got more than 700 marks, you're going to penalize me for doing well by asking me to do another exam?
No, I'm not in favor of. I'm saying that if somebody has a doubt that 700 plus people have got marks because of cheating, it takes only half an hour to find it out, to be very frank. There is only one case that has happened, which the girl has got 705 and she was failed in the board. So you ask questions, Dr. Swaminathan, how can you find it out?
Okay, Dr. Swaminathan, why don't you answer this question of the parent? Because this, you have really put the cat among the pigeons by saying all the students, and there are about 2,000 odd, who've got more than 700 out of 720, subject them to some kind of a test system to find out whether they have the ability or not to get such high marks.
Hang on. As far as I understand, the number of people who got above 700 is 382. I don't know if my number is wrong. That's the number I read online. Maybe I got it wrong.
Because how much is it, Karunakar?
2,200 rank is
that's right.
700 marks. I'm just telling you. And
okay, that makes it a lot more difficult. I was under the impression that it was under 400, which should have been far easier. But if it's 2,000, then then it becomes unviable.
But
we don't have enough time to do this.
No, Swaminathan, I'll tell you, it is very easy. It is not that tough. So I'm adding to your point, right? How to find out this question of 700 people have got good or not. 700 people, you can take another 5 minutes to ask one question and they'll answer you that what was the answer they have given on that day. If they are true, if they have remember marked and all those things, when I used to take exam, I have done campus in engineering colleges. We used to take and ask the question, ask only what is the answer that you have marked it here, and find out who has guessed it, who has corrected it. So here I can trust me. I have gone to 3 coaching institute award function in Bangalore. Not a single student I found out who is not deserving 650 plus. I'm telling you, in Bangalore city.
Okay.
Not a single student.
Okay,
Forget about 700, 710.
Okay, let me get in more voice. Dr. Rahul Chawla, is it fair on these students, in your view, who have got more than 700 plus, who are all set to get into the top colleges, now to be told, no, you'll have a retest because we are not sure of your numbers?
Sir, we have to understand that these students are not those who must have scored 300 or 400 and now suddenly they have scored 700.
Mm-hmm.
It might not have happened. What might have happened is that these students could have been those who must have been in the range of 550 to 650, but somehow, if some of them gets access to the paper, their scores could have increased from 620, from 650 to above 700.
So you're saying it's actually the group between 650 and 700 who may have benefited. Am I correct?
Exactly. Also because, there had been a case in Patna wherein the student who was caught.
Mm-hmm.
So the student got the paper, he memorized the paper, but still he could not get the desired marks because he did not have the caliber. Even to memorize the paper,
right?
To memorize all those questions, you need some brain. You need to know the basics.
Sure.
Okay.
But we come back to the question of whether a retest is the solution. Vivek Priyadarshi, you're hearing all these voices. आपको अभी भी लगता है retest ही करना है या कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता है अब धीरे धीरे समय जैसे बीतता जाएगा अब retest के chances बहुत कम हो गए हैं?
सर, जब अगर हम एक आतंकवादी को देखते हैं वो लोगों को मारता है तो हम उसके खिलाफ बहुत जल्दी खड़े हो जाते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, कैंडल मार्च निकलते हैं वगैरह वगैरह।
जी
सर, जो पटना में केसेस आए थे, जो बच्चों ने पेपर लीक किया था, और सर जो अब तक जितने केसेस आ चुके हैं, अगर सर वो केसेस नहीं पकड़े जाते, वो डॉक्टर बन जाते, वो सर कितने लोगों को किल करते, ये किसी ने नहीं सोचा। और सर ऐसे अभी बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जो अभी तक नहीं पकड़े गए होंगे, लेकिन वो मेडिकल कॉलेज पा जाएंगे और सर वो आने वाले टाइम में हमारे इंडिया के लिए बहुत बुरा फ्यूचर तैयार करेंगे।
Molly Agarwal, you're hearing all these points. You're still certain. What was your rank, by the way? How many marks have you got?
So actually, even I belong to those 1,563 students who earlier got the grace marks. Then my grace marks was cut out, and without grace marks, my score is 631. I belong from Chhattisgarh, and in my center also, we were giving wrong paper at first, which was from Canara Bank. After 45 minutes, they handed me the right paper, which was kept at the SBI Bank. So due to that, I was not able to score much more than 631. I completed my paper like in just 2 hours or something like that, and they didn't give us the extra time they promised. And my rank is nearly 46,000.
Your rank is 46,000. Therefore, you will probably not get into a government college of your choice. What do you then intend to do, Molly?
So I am basically hoping still hoping to get a government college, but yeah, it's not according to my expectations, because I know if there wasn't any problem like the time problem, whatever I faced at my center, I could have scored much better, and I'm not really ready for giving the exam once again. So I would better accept it, and I'm just hoping for the best, that
right.
God gives me the best college I deserve. Yeah.
When I hear these voices, Maheshwar Peri, there seems something seriously wrong in the way, here are students saying she didn't get enough time, 45 minutes late the paper came. I mean, we are a large country, lakhs of students are appearing, something has gone wrong, and the NTA is simply not being held accountable enough. In the entire hearings in the court today, there was no sense that the NTA was contrite. You see, when I was hearing Tushar Mehta was the Solicitor General, wasn't giving any sense of accountability. You see, you remove one DG of NTA, that's hardly enough. He's the scapegoat.
So, Rajdeep, very clearly, NTA doesn't have its hands clean There is no question about that. Like I was listening to Mauli and Vivek, at 620 last time the rank was about 15,000. This time it's 50,000, 60,000. How would we respond to both Mauli and Vivek of what exactly happened that such as inflation happened? Whatever you do now, we can't justify it to these kids because these people have been told that if you get 620, 630, you're going to get into a good college. Yes. And that doesn't seem to happen. It's gone up by 300%. And there doesn't seem to be a response from anyone other than saying that, oh, syllabus has been reduced. No, syllabus has been reduced, but some other topics have been added and that's been hidden. So whenever every single time NTA is giving a response, it's hiding certain things and telling half-truths. And that for me is a big, big problem. Even today, when NTA was protesting center-wise declaration of result, it shocked me because it is done at a state level. What is the big problem of NTA of not disclosing this particular thing here? And they do it for NEET-PG also. Every single time, NTA has been found stingy in terms of its response, in terms of its transparency, in terms of being, ensuring that they come clean on this entire subject.
No, so how do you ensure NTA comes clean?
Children than anything
no,
else.
So how do we ensure NTA comes clean? The Supreme Court has said, is that a step forward to say that, look, you have got to publish by Saturday 12 noon the details of all the examination centers? Is this now moving in the direction of electoral bonds, where journalists, where people like you will then go through it, sift through it? That's, are we heading again in the same way because the government is not giving, because NTA is not being honest with the people of this country?
Absolutely. The moment the results are declared, the center-wise results are declared, Rajdeep, in my opinion, you will actually have a bunch of people who will go through their own data. And if there is some kind of a skew that is found, as even the Supreme Court was talking of, if more than the 3-4 names that we are talking of, there are more skews that such as Jajjar or something else is found, trust me, it will get into a problem. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen, honestly. Personally, if you ask me, I don't want a NTA to be so destroyed that the exam itself is destroyed in the country. But it's important for NTA to come clean, and that this is the first step. I think Supreme Court is forcing NTA to be transparent for its own good and nothing else.
The fact though is, and I will give the final word to you there, Dr. Subramaniam, in Chennai. I mean, you've been a leading doctor. What's your message to the young today? There are young, listening to this program. I am the I'm the father of a young son who's a doctor, did the NEET-PG. I've seen the trauma that youngsters go through to crack this exam. Is there as a leading doctor, what will you tell the young who are watching, aspirants, the next generation, those who want to do NEET next year? They're seeing all of this and must wonder, how do I fulfill my dream to be a doctor?
Why did you have to pick on me? So I'm already telling my children not to get into healthcare because I'm worried about the way things are going. And all the points that you've said are very relevant. We need course correction and we need a deep dive into what's happening. NTA needs massive changes. There needs to be a big overhaul. I've talked about this in another forum where the whole testing mechanism itself needs to be overhauled. But as far as students are concerned, understand that the test is just one part of your life. Never believe that one test is going to change your entire future. Yes, these things are important, but when you're 17, 18 or 20, this 1 year looks like a big deal. Do not get disheartened. When I look back, I'm 50 now. When I look back, that 1 year is of absolutely very little consequence. So please don't get frustrated. I understand this is unfair to you guys. I understand this is frustrating, but stay with it. We have to improve the system from the inside. We have to peacefully push.
But you've told me that you will not make your children get into the healthcare sector.
That's up to them. See, that's up to them. Please let me make this very clear. I encourage everybody to follow their passion and do what is best for them. But
no, you told me at the outset. You told me at the outset today, doctor, I don't want my children to get into the healthcare sector. When I hear this from leading doctors, I get very, very worried.
Yes, my wife and I are very clear about that. My wife is also a doctor. We are very clear about that we don't think that healthcare is going in the right direction. The atmosphere as far as healthcare is concerned is degenerating. And obviously, there is not enough being done in terms of the quality of education. I think a lot of things need to be done. Course correction can be done. Right. But if we don't do it, this is not the right way to go.
That is very, very troubling to hear at one level. It would be extremely sad if a country which aspires to global aspirations cannot conduct these exams in a manner that is transparent, that keep students' interests first. All these protests that you've seen on the street are a wake-up call. Enough is enough. The government needs to wake up to the reality of how these exams are conducted. The Supreme Court today has put a rap on the knuckles, but is that enough to get the system right again? I thank all my guests for joining me on this NEET exam, a story that we will keep tracking. Let's turn to another story that should concern you and me, because there's been another train tragedy today, this time in Uttar Pradesh's Gonda. 6 bogies derailed, leading to the death of at least 2 people, while multiple people sustained injuries. This is the Dibrugarh Express. Sources saying the railways are probing a possible sabotage angle after the loco pilot claimed he heard an explosion before the mishap. Our correspondent Samar Srivastava has been tracking what's happening.
This portion, the entire upper portion has been completely damaged. So such are the serious concerns for the Indian Railways right here. While bogie number 3, which clearly signifies that it could have been the place where the loco pilot must be sitting. See, you can clearly see the driver's seat right here. He must be seeing the train, where the hell the train is going. But the bigger question is, he says that he, in a way, got to know about some blast and suddenly the train got derailed. Is he hinting some sabotage? I don't know. But another visual right here, you can get the sense of exact thing. This is one farmland, but inside this particular farmland, you can get the sense how that particular AC, the bogie in which the loco pilot was sitting, ran inside this particular portion where there is a farmland. You have never seen such visuals, but we can clearly expect something which can avert such accidents in the future, as UP Deputy CM Brajesh Pathak, while speaking to India Today, confirmed 2 deaths, and he says 2 passengers are critically injured, while 18 to 20 are injured and have.
Samar Srivastava there reporting from Gonda. Let's stay with Uttar Pradesh for a moment, because there's another controversy brewing there. Eateries along the Kanwar Yatra route have been asked to display the names of the eatery owners. So, if my name is Munna, I have to say Munna. If my name is Ali, I have to say Ali. The opposition has called this move, though, an attempt to single out Muslims in particular and state-sponsored bigotry. The BJP is defending the move, claiming it's a fair measure to ensure that the Yatra route does not lead to any conflict. Take a look.
Big face-off over Kanwar Yatra in Uttar Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh police issued a notification requesting all eateries along the Kanwar Yatra route to display details of owners. According to the Uttar Pradesh police, this directive is intended to prevent confusion among the Kanwaris and applies to all food establishments, including hotels, dhabas and roadside carts. The Muzaffarnagar police emphasized that food stall owners are voluntarily complying with the requirement.
As you can see, this is the Sheer Mal shop, and there is a new flex, a new, a kind of board of the proprietor. The proprietor is As Muhammad. The next shop you can see is Haji Maqbool Tahari. So Haji Maqbool Tahari, it's a big board you can see, but still they had to put this proprietor's name in front of their counter.
ये चौकी इंचार्ज साहब आए थे आके क्या वो बोले जी इस पर अपना नाम दिखाओ, नाम अलग से फ्लेक्सी लिखवा के वो लगवाओ. मैंने जी नाम तो ऊपर लिखा हुआ कहने लगे नहीं चाहिए, इसके जो प्रोपराइटर है उसके नाम होना चाहिए, तो बाद में लगवाया है.
बस अब लाभ तो नहीं पता चलेगा जी बाद में, क्या नाम उसका, क्या लाभ होगा इससे क्या नहीं होगा. बंदी हो जाएगा कावड़ में तो डेली लगने की नहीं. फिलहाल नाम देख के फल खरीदा बस. हाँ कहने लगे मुसलमान है, नाम निसार है इनका.
However, this measure has sparked significant controversy, with the opposition alleging that it targets Muslim-owned shops and symbolizes apartheid.
जो ये कांवड़ यात्रा पे प्रपोज कर रहे हैं, इसके पीछे मंशा है इकोनॉमिक बॉयकॉट ऑफ मुस्लिम्स को नॉर्मलाइज करना. कैसे आर्थिक बहिष्कार का सामान्यकरण करना है मुसलमानों का। तो इस मंशा को तो हम कामयाब किसी के लिए नहीं होने देंगे, वो हिंदू के लिए करे हो, मुसलमानों के लिए करे हो, किसी के लिए भी करें, हम नहीं होने देंगे।
ये संविधान के आर्टिकल 17 का वायलेशन है जो अनटचेबिलिटी की बात करता है। नाम रखना और अपने रिलीजन का इजहार करना, बताना, ये आर्टिकल 21 राइट टू लाइफ का भी वायलेशन है और आर्टिकल 19 राइट टू लाइवलीहुड का भी ये वायलेशन है।
Even BJP ally JDU urged the Yogi government to review the notification.
इससे विभेद बढ़ेगा और आगे के लिए कठिनाइयां भी पैदा हो सकती हैं और कुछ लोगों का रोजगार भी छिनेगा।
Despite the backlash, the Uttar Pradesh government, police and ruling BJP defended the directive, calling it fair and necessary for peaceful Kanwar yatra.
हर बात पे राजनीति करना ये उचित नहीं है। उत्तर प्रदेश पूरी तरीके से खुशहाली और भाईचारे के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है।
ये एक प्रशासनिक विषय है, सुरक्षा और संवेदनशीलता का विषय भी हो सकता है। कहीं पर कोई ऐसी चीज सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड होती है तो वो सरकार अपने, मगर मुझे एक बात नहीं समझ में आती है, ये पता नहीं क्यों हमारे विरोधी कोई भी विषय होता है वो नाम और पहचान छुपाने वालों के साथ क्यों खड़े हो जाते हैं।
Thousands of Kanwariyas undertake the holy journey between end of July and early August. But this time the yatra is courting controversy. With Abhishek Anand in Muzaffarnagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Suppose my shop's name was Munna Fal. Would I be a Hindu or a Muslim? Are we going to decide in this country whether I will have a banana from a fruit seller based on whether he's a Hindu or a Muslim? Is this what we have come to? And which religion tells you to do this? Which yatra tells you to do this? Think about it. Let's turn from there to another political story that's gathering heat, this time in the south, in Karnataka, where the heat is mounting on the Siddaramaiah government over the alleged Valmiki scam. Monies that were meant for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe welfare being allegedly siphoned off. The Enforcement Directorate today claimed at least 90 crore rupees have been diverted, and some of it was used for not just the Congress poll campaign, but also to purchase liquor and a Lamborghini car for the arrested former minister. The BJP has hit the streets against the Sidhu Sarkara, which only last year was accusing the BJP government there of being the 40% commission Sarkara. Take a look.
Showdown over corruption in Karnataka escalates. The BJP hit the streets on Thursday after an ED investigation claimed that the 90 crore rupees was diverted from the Karnataka Maharshi Valmiki Scheduled Tribe Development Corporation, was allegedly used to buy a Lamborghini car, among other things.
Tens and hundreds of crores of rupees has been spent to purchase of liquor in neighboring states during Lok Sabha elections. That is more important. So new things are emerging, but Congress government, Siddaramaiah government is trying to divert the issue.
The Congress hit back, accusing the BJP of misusing central agencies to destabilize their government in the state.
Why have they stepped in now? There are so many other issues in Karnataka which have been there for the last 4 years. Where was ED then? 4 years of BJP government, where was ED then? How come they didn't come? So they've come with a mission. Intention is to somehow see that how we can target the Congress government here and how we can help BJP to destabilize this government.
Explosive revelations have been made by the ED in the Valmiki Corporation scam. ED sources say 90 crore rupees taken from the corporation was put in 18 accounts in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The money was allegedly used in the Andhra assembly polls. According to sources, the funds were used to procure alcohol for distribution during elections. ED sources also say that a Lamborghini was bought using this money. The ED has booked former State Minister B. Nagendra under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The Congress that stormed to power after a campaign against alleged corruption under the BJP government in the state now finds itself on the back foot on the same issue. With Sagai Raj, Bureau Report, India Today.
I wonder what a Lamborghini looks like. Our good news today's story comes from Kolkata, and it's a story of a 4-year-old cricket wonder kid from that city. Rishika Sarkar has been given full scholarship in education and cricket training by none other than cricketer Yuvraj Singh at the Merlin Rise Yuvraj Singh Centre of Excellence. This after Rishika's video went viral on the internet playing cricket with her father, where she was seen batting with a technique similar to professional players. Take a look.
She's just 4 years old, but she presents the full face of the bat to incoming deliveries. Rishika Sarkar's batting skills, mainly straight drives, went viral recently. The Kolkata wonder kid was spotted by former cricketer Yuvraj Singh, who has offered Rishika scholarship. He also sent her an autographed cricket bat as a gift. The head coach at the centre, run by Yuvraj Singh's company, describes Rishika's skills as inborn talent.
ये inborn talented एक ऐसा है कि ऐसा इस तरह के टैलेंट कोच भी चाहते हैं कि ऐसे टैलेंट 2-4 और आए ताकि इनके पीछे उस तरह से वर्कआउट किया जाए. बट जितनी बड़ी होती जाएगी इसके ऊपर लोड बढ़ता जाएगा और इसको इसके हार्ड वर्क के ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा ये कहां तक आएगी.
Rishika, who lives with her parents on the suburbs of the new town, spends her time practicing cricket shots.
মেয়ে হোক ছেলে হোক ওকে ক্রিকেটই শিখাবে. সেই জন্য ওকে 3 বছর জন্মদিন থেকেই ওর ক্রিকেটের যাবতীয় জিনিস ব্যাট বল এগুলো নিয়ে এসেছিল জন্মদিন. তারপর থেকে ওর বাবা ওকে প্র্যাকটিস করায়. অনেক 5-6 ঘন্টা তো প্র্যাকটিস করে.
স্বপ্ন হয় যে আমার ফ্যামিলিতে একজন ক্রিকেটার হবে. এরপর মেয়ের জন্মের পর থেকে আমি স্বপ্ন দেখি মেয়েকে ক্রিকেট খেলা শেখাবো. তো যখন 3 বছর বয়স হয় 3 বছর জন্মদিন পালন করি. জন্মদিনে আমি উপহার হিসাবে ক্রিকেটের জিনিসপত্র দিয়েছিলাম সম্পূর্ণ এবং তারপর দিন থেকে স্টার্ট করি এবং সেই জার্নি চলছে.
Attempts to get Rishika talking did not yield results.
ক্রিকেট খেলতে ভালো লাগে.
আর ব্যাটিং করতে ভালো লাগে না বোলিং করতে ভালো লাগে?
আমার ব্যাটিং করতে ভালো লাগে.
কার মতো ক্রিকেটার হতে চাও?
বিরাট কোহলির মতো. যুবরাজ সিং বলতে ভালো করে খেলতে.
তো এই পড়াশোনা করতে ভালো লাগে না?
পড়াশোনা বাড়িতে করি.
Evidently, she prefers to let her bat do the talking. With Anirban Sinha Roy, Bureau Report, India Today.
What a lovely, lovely story. I hope that she goes on to play for India and more. The great Indian cricket dream. Nice point on which to leave you. Thanks for watching. Have sweet dreams. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Shubh Ratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar.